Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the internet doesn't just have a scandal, it has a confession. A confession nobody saw coming, not even the loudest critics of the Harris family. King Harris, the son of rap mogul T.I., has stepped out of the shadows of speculation and straight into the fire of viral chaos by admitting that he's gay. And the timing. You couldn't script this in Hollywood. Right after a jailhouse tape surfaced showing him in a situation that set social media ablaze, King dropped the bombshell that flipped the entire conversation upside down. But here's the question: what does it mean when the bad boy of hip-hop royalty doesn't just get caught, but actually owns the scandal? Is this bravery, arrogance, or the ultimate way to snatch back control of a story spiraling out of his hands? And what about his father, T.I., the king of the South, the self-proclaimed protector of his family's honor? How does a man built on reputation and legacy handle the one headline no amount of money, music, or influence can erase? This isn't just gossip. It's a dynasty in flames. The Harris family has always lived in the spotlight. From platinum records to reality shows, they built an empire on fame, fortune, and a polished image of success. But behind that image has always been one name that never quite fit the mold: King Harris. The son of T.I. and singer Tiny, King carved out a reputation not for music or business, but for chaos. Arrests, fights, viral meltdowns, you name it, King was at the center of it. He thrived on rebellion, feeding the blogs with every reckless move. But even his harshest critics weren't prepared for what came next: a jailhouse tape and a confession that shook the internet to its core. The scandal started like most modern-day controversies: quiet whispers online. A few grainy screenshots, a couple of blurred videos, and an avalanche of speculation. Social media detectives claimed the footage showed King in a compromising moment with one of his so-called homies behind bars. At first, fans brushed it off. King was no stranger to rumors. But then the clips spread faster, dissected frame by frame, fueling endless threads until whispers turned into headlines: King Harris jail tape. T.I.'s son caught in prison scandal. The story snowballed so quickly that by the time mainstream blogs caught up, it was already the internet's hottest topic. And then came the twist no one expected. Instead of denying the accusations, instead of lashing out at blogs like he usually did, King did the unthinkable: he confessed. On an Instagram Live that now has millions of views, King looked into the camera and said, "Y'all keep talking like it's some secret. I'm me, and yeah, I'm gay. So what?" Just like that, with one statement, he flipped the scandal upside down. What was meant to humiliate him became an open declaration, and the internet lost its mind. Reactions came in waves. Some praised him for honesty, calling it bold in an industry notorious for toxic masculinity and homophobia. Others mocked him, accusing him of admitting only because the tape left him no choice. But the loudest silence came from his father, T.I. For a man who built his image as the tough, protective patriarch, his absence spoke volumes. Insiders claimed T.I. was furious, not at King for being gay, but for how the confession came out, tied to a jail tape that tarnished not just King's image, but the family legacy. To T.I., this wasn't just a personal matter, it was public humiliation on the grandest stage. Rivals smelled blood. Blogs that once praised his empire now tore it apart brick by brick. Meanwhile, King doubled down. He wasn't hiding, wasn't apologizing, wasn't backing away. Instead, he leaned into the chaos, posting captions like, "Truth don't hurt me, it hurts y'all," and "Can't cancel me if I already cancel myself." For fans, it was either iconic defiance or reckless arrogance, but either way, the clicks kept coming. The confession stopped being about sexuality. It became a referendum on fame, family, and the cost of constant scrutiny. Was King brave, or had he sparked a scandal that could destroy his father's empire? And just when the dust began to settle, more leaks surfaced, screenshots, audio clips, whispers that the tape wasn't the only thing hiding in the shadows. Alleged insiders claimed King wasn't just caught, he bragged about it inside the cell block, saying, "Real men don't hide who they are." Whether he said it or not didn't matter. Social media took the line and ran. Fake DMS appeared, allegedly from inmates. Blogs published clickbait headlines like "Exclusive, King Harris's double life." Photoshopped evidence spread. The more absurd the claims, the more people believed them. Celebrities chimed in, too. One rapper tweeted, "Y'all gotta let King live his truth," while another mocked, "T.I.'s kid's been wild, no surprise it's him this time." The fire grew hotter. Some even theorized King leaked the tape himself to step out of his father's shadow and build a brand around controversy. Overnight, he went from being known as T.I.'s troubled son to being the story. Whether negative or not, attention is attention, and King might have just secured his spot in the messy Hall of Fame. But as the scandal escalated, attention shifted to the family. How was Tiny handling it? How did King's siblings feel waking up to their brother trending worldwide? Rumors of explosive family group chats spread, with claims they considered cutting King off. True or not, the public devoured every detail. Social media dug up King's past interviews, reinterpreting every joke and meltdown as proof of what they claimed was obvious all along. Memes flooded timelines, remixes of the alleged footage, rainbow edits, captions mocking T.I.'s parenting. Even those who didn't believe the story still joined in for laughs. That's the brutal reality of viral scandals. The truth almost doesn't matter. Perception does. And King Harris, by owning his truth in the middle of chaos, has ensured that, for better or worse, his name won't be leaving headlines anytime soon. Once a scandal becomes a meme, it never dies. But this one took an even darker twist. Soon, whispers of potential lawsuits surfaced. Reports claimed King's legal team was preparing to sue whoever leaked the tape, calling it both revenge porn and defamation. TikTok lawyers chimed in, explaining how serious these charges could be, while others argued that suing would only confirm the tape's authenticity. Either way, King was stuck. Fight back legally and risk proving it's real, or stay silent and let the rumors devour him alive. Meanwhile, T.I. allegedly broke his silence, or at least that's what people thought. Screenshots began circulating of a supposed statement from him. It read, "As a father, I'm heartbroken. My son's choices don't reflect the man I raised him to be. This has brought shame to our family, but we will find strength to move forward." Was it real? Hard to say. It looked like a Notes app apology with no official source. But by the time anyone questioned it, the damage was done. That statement, real or not, set the internet ablaze. Some called T.I. a hypocrite, given his own past controversies. Others sympathized, saying no parent should endure this. Half the world mocked, half pretended to empathize, and all were tuned into the circus. From that moment, it stopped being just about King Harris. It became a referendum on the entire Harris family. Were they cursed by controversy? Destined for the spotlight's ugliest side? Or was this simply the latest chapter in a saga of celebrity downfall? The so-called confession, fabricated or not, had reached the point of no return. Overnight, King wasn't just T.I.'s troubled son, he was the center of one of the most humiliating celebrity scandals in years. Blogs, gossip pages, and YouTube channels raced to outdo one another with wilder claims. Some swore he was offered hush money. Others claimed he planned a tell-all interview. But the irony was clear, the truth no longer mattered. The lie was far too entertaining. Inside the Harris household, insiders described chaos. Tiny allegedly raged at T.I., accusing him of letting King spiral. T.I. himself was said to be pacing in disbelief, shattered as he muttered, "I built this legacy, and it's being destroyed before my eyes." And just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, new hashtags began trending worldwide, #KHarrisGay, and others that reduced his name to nothing more than internet fodder. Imagine waking up to find your legacy rewritten as a meme. That's the nightmare King Harris was living. But scandals like this never end, they evolve. And for King, that evolution left only one question: is this the end of his reputation, or the beginning of a new kind of fame?